What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Diggs Gaming. Welcome back to Alpha Hunting's Gaming News, and there's a lot of gaming news to go through. And I'm going to start off with an update on the Microsoft Activision deal. We got a report that's stating that the deal could be officially approved by the FTC as soon as August. So next month, the deal could officially be approved. And once that happens, we're going to see Microsoft officially acquire Activision becoming a part of Microsoft. So this deal could be done within the next few months. And that is just really good to hear. When this deal was announced, we knew it was going to take some time. Again, it was a $70 billion deal. So that is going to take a while for it to be approved by the FTC. But we knew it was going to get approved by the FTC. There's no question on that. This was going to go through no matter what. For those of you that were concerned, you didn't have to be. So Activision could be officially part of Microsoft very, very soon. Also coming from Xbox, we just found out that they are getting a feature before the PlayStation 5. That is Discord voice chat is coming to the Xbox Series XS before it comes to PlayStation 5. Now, that's a little bit of a shock because PlayStation had invested a lot in Discord over the last year, and you would think that they'd be getting that before the Series XS, but no. Microsoft is getting that on their console before Sony gets it on theirs. That is pretty interesting. And again, it's a shocker. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big win, but I mean, it's still something. The fact that they're getting this before PlayStation. And again, Sony had invested a lot in Discord over the last year. Next up, the developer behind Minecraft, Mojang, I am hoping I said that right, has made their stance clear on NFTs and blockchain. And that is that they are not going to be allowed in Minecraft anymore. They are not going to be allowed in the game. And that is really, really good to hear for anyone that plays Minecraft. And really, it's a good thing to hear from gamers. The fact that not every single gaming company is now starting to get into the NFT blockchain market, which, again, it's really good to hear because of what we're seeing right now. Ever since NFTs have come on the scene, they have been so controversial, and really gamers just do not want them in they don't want them in their games. It's pretty cut and dry. They don't want them in the games, but you have Square Enix that it looks like they're starting to get into NFTs. We have an NFT game and an NFT console that were just announced. It's like, looks like we can't escape them, but there are companies that don't want to see them in these games. And Minecraft, we're not going to see them in the game at all, and that's going to make a lot of gamers happy. Next up, Naughty Dog, again, is hit with a leak bug. They really have had a problem the last few years. A lot of stuff's been getting leaked. The entire story of The Last of Us Part 2 was leaked. Of course, The Last of Us Part 1, it was leaked before the announcement officially came. And now we have screenshots that were released and gameplay that was released before Naughty Dog and Sony decided to put out a video talking about everything. And this was something where they probably had a specific day where they wanted to do this, but they couldn't have waited any longer because these leaks came out. And not only did that come out, but then somebody said that there were no gameplay improvements with The Last of Us Part 1, that it was just a graphics update. And then we get all of this from Naughty Dog and Sony talking about everything that has changed within the game. And it's not necessarily that there's no gameplay improvements, but the combat hasn't really changed. So when this was officially released, we got word that elements from The Last of Us Part 2 were making their way into The Last of Us Part 1. And a lot of people, myself included, was thinking, okay, maybe they've changed up the combat to make it more like The Last of Us Part 2. But it looks like that's not the case. It looks like it's still going to be the same combat from The Last of Us Part 1. And let me tell you what is going to be changed. Of course, the graphics have been completely updated. The AI has been updated as well, both enemy and friend. There's a new photo mode. The accessibility is honestly absolutely amazing. What Naughty Dog does with accessibility is just amazing. It really is, especially with what they did from The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, they won the award for best accessibility, and there's a reason for that. So again, that's made its way into The Last of Us Part 1. And the way you upgrade your weapons, that's changed as well. So there are changes to the game, and there's more changes than I just mentioned. I just wanted to mention a few of them. But again, it doesn't look like there's a lot of combat changes. And really, that's a deal killer for a lot of people because they were expecting some changes to the combat. And again, a lot of people are asking, why is this game getting remade when it's a 9-year-old game, when it doesn't seem like it should be getting a remake? And again, I completely understand that. And for those of you that don't want to pay $70 for it, which I completely understand that as well, you can always wait till it drops in price, because we know it's going to drop in price, and it's probably going to drop in price rather quickly. And then we can come back to it and say, is it really worth it? It's all in the eye of the beholder. If this is fine with you, where there are changes being made, but not necessarily changes to the combat, and you're perfectly fine with that, you're perfectly fine with spending $70, go right ahead. But if you don't think that's enough, that there has to be more to it to pay $70 up front, then wait for a sale or don't get the game at all. But you can't really say whether it's worth it or not. It really is in the eye of the beholder whether it's worth that or not. Next up, the PlayStation Store page for God of War Ragnarok was updated and the plot synopsis was revealed. So, in terms of the synopsis, Kratos and Atreus must travel to each of the 9 realms in search of answers as Asgardian forces prepare for a battle that will end the world. Along the way, they will explore stunning mythical landscapes and face fearsome enemies in the form of Norse gods and monsters. The threat of Ragnarok grows ever closer. Kratos and Atreus must choose between their own safety and the safety of the realms. That's pretty amazing, the fact that they're going to travel to each of the 9 realms. I did not think that's was gonna happen, and yet it looks like that's what's gonna happen. This really does look like it's gonna be a great game, and looks like it's really going to take what that first game, what the 2018 game did, and just take it to another level. And what's interesting about this is they're traveling to each of the 9 realms, and we've all been wondering, why is it releasing November 9th when that's a Wednesday, when they normally would release their games on a Friday? And this might be the case because 9 seems like an important number in God of War Ragnarok. And that might be the reason as to why they decided not to go with the 11th. Like, look, we know that they intended to go with November 11th because they accidentally sent out this trailer that at the end of it showed 11/11 as the release date when it's 11/9, and they moved it 2 days earlier. And that's what caused the delay of the reveal, of the release date reveal. That's what caused the delay. And yeah, there's not much more I can say about this, but this game really is looking like it's going to be absolutely amazing. Next up, Sony revealed that they are no longer going to be using the @Ask PlayStation handle on Twitter starting August 1st. So what Ask PlayStation was, it basically was a one-on-one with PlayStation themselves, where you can ask questions about problems you're having with PlayStation, and they can give you answers as to what could be done with it and how to fix it. And now that's going away, and a lot of gamers are just wondering, what is PlayStation up to? Do they have something up their sleeve, or is this just something that they can't do anymore and they feel like it's not really worth it anymore? That's not particularly good. It's not a good look for PlayStation right now, and I'm hoping they have a plan to do something about this, because the more you take away from, customer service, the crazier it's going to get, because now you don't have those things that would have helped you with it. And this was one where it definitely was helpful to a lot of gamers. And it's just a shock that PlayStation is not going to have it anymore. Again, this is starting August 1st. Next up, PlayStation has acquired esports platform Repeat.gg. And a lot of you may be asking, why would they be acquiring an esports platform? But this is not the first time they've done that. They have actually done this before. They've started to get into the esports market, and it's not really a shock to see why, because esports really are starting to take off. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It definitely could make for some interesting things they could do with their games. I mean, they could have like their own tournaments with some of their games, and this could really be something that could make for some good times with PlayStation games, and it could help them out. This could be something that it could be very good for them if they use this right. And I have to think they have a plan for it. I mean, they wouldn't have purchased it if they didn't already have a plan for it. So all in all, I kind of like this. I really do. Next up, CD Projekt Red stock has taken a dramatic hit since the release of Cyberpunk 2077. Apparently, their stock has fallen 75% since the release of the game. And Cyberpunk 2077, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It's just a lesson on how not to market a game, how not to make a game, how not to release a game. It's just a market on what not to do on a video game. I mean, a lesson on what not to do in a video game. Yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 was just a disaster at launch. It just was not a good launch for CD Projekt Red, and they're still feeling the effects of that. And I'm just not shocked that their stock has taken a dramatic hit. Now, 75%, I mean, that is a lot. But again, with Cyberpunk 2077, it was released in the state that it was. It took 8 years to be developed. This was a game that got so much hype, and it just did not deliver on that hype. And again, there were certain gamers that just could not play this game because of how messed up it was when it first launched. Which the game, if you were able to play it, it was good, but it wasn't the amazing game that we all thought we were going to get after CD Projekt Red had released The Witcher 3. And I'm just hoping that with CD Projekt Red's next game, they take everything they learned from Cyberpunk 2077 and not do this again. I'm hoping other game companies do not make the same mistake as CD Projekt Red. Next up, another story that's not really a good look for a company, Persona 5. It's been revealed that gamers that have it on PlayStation 4 cannot upgrade it to the PlayStation 5 version. You have to buy the PlayStation 5 version. Basically, you got to buy the game again. And it's not a good look for Atlus. Now, this is not Sony. This is Atlus. Atlus is the one that owns the IP. Atlus makes the decisions with this game. And maybe this is an answer as to why Persona 5 was taken off of the PlayStation Plus collection. For those that have a PlayStation 5, there was a number of games that were on there. It was a PlayStation Plus collection. Those were games that you could just get right away if you have a PlayStation Plus account. And Persona 5 has been the only game that's been taken off of that collection. And a lot of people were confused why. This is probably it, because of the fact that there was no upgrade from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. And I don't understand what Atlus is doing. I mean, I guess they're just trying to get as much money as they can from the game, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think it's not a good look for them. It's not a good look, and I don't think it's really a good decision. But for those that want to play Persona 5, want to play the PlayStation 5 version of it, they are going to buy it. But again, it's just not a good look for them. Next up, we got details on the first free update from Mario Strikers Battle League. So what gamers are going to get that own the game and they are going to get the free update? They're getting 2 new characters in Daisy and Shy Guy. They're getting some new gear, which is night gear, and then a new stadium called the Desert Ruins. Now, on the stadium itself, in the desert for soccer, that's going to be pretty interesting. And I wonder if the field's going to have any effect on the ball. I don't play Mario Strikers. I'm not a fan of the game, but that does seem pretty interesting. The fact that you're going to be in a desert playing soccer. Yeah, I wonder what that's going to be like for gamers that start playing that. And the new gear, the night gear, I don't know why. I'm just a really big fan of when I see night gear in a game. And I mean, I'm looking at a picture right now of Toad in the night gear, and it definitely looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. And then the 2 new characters with Daisy and Shy Guy. Yeah, it makes sense to have those 2 as part of this free update. So all in all, this looks like a very good update for those that have the game. Again, I don't have the game myself, so I don't play it. But for those of you that do, looks like you got a really good first free update. Again, this is not going to be the only one. We're going to have more down the line. Next up, Saints Row has gone gold. Yes, Saints Row is officially coming August 23rd. Once that game has gone gold, there's no change that's coming to its release date. And Saints Row, this is definitely a game that is going to be looked at closely by just about everybody because of the changes it looks like it's made to the Saints Row games. And we're just going to have to see what happens when this game comes out. I know Sir Meliodas is skeptical of this game, but we shall see. We're just going to have to wait till the game comes out, which is now officially August 23rd. Next up, we got the release of two games, Stray and As Dusk Falls. Stray, the PlayStation 5 exclusive, and As Dusk Falls, the Xbox Series XS exclusive. And both of these games have gotten pretty decent reviews. Stray has been rated a little higher than As Dusk Falls, but both of these games, and you got to remember, both these games are very different. Stray is you are playing a platformer as a cat, which just seems like a match made in heaven. And it has been a match made in heaven. I am definitely going to get this game, but I'm going to wait until the physical release comes out because I just like having physical copies of my game. And As Dusk Falls, it's kind of like the Telltale games where it's a narrative driven game. There's not really a whole lot of combat and stuff like that. Not a lot of gameplay. You are like, it's basically telling a story and you're making the decisions within that story. That's pretty much what it is. If you're a fan of that game, I will definitely check out As Dusk Falls because, again, it's gotten pretty decent reviews. And Stray, I am highly recommending that game for anybody that is a fan of platformers and that is a fan of cats because, I mean, this game is absolutely amazing. And it actually is the highest rated game on PC right now. I'm not kidding. The highest rated game on PC right now is Stray. And I know I said it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but it's a PlayStation 5 console exclusive. It is on PC as well. My bad. That's my bad. But yeah, both of these games, good additions. Next up, Ubisoft has just had an investors call, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora has been delayed until the very earliest April of 2023. And this delay could go into 2024. So really, we don't know when this game is officially going to come out anymore. It was supposed to come out this year. And now that is not going to happen. It's delayed until, again, at the earliest April of next year. And then we also found out that 4 other games were canceled. Now, 2 of them were, we don't know what they were. They were unannounced. And then Splinter Cell VR and Ghost Recon Frontline. Now, Ghost Recon Frontline, that was that I think Battle Royale type game, and that got a little bit of controversy because not a lot of people liked it when it was first announced. They didn't think it was going to work, so that has been canceled. And Splinter Cell VR, a lot of people have been waiting for a new Splinter Cell game for a long time. They feel like Splinter Cell should definitely have another game. And with VR, it seemed like it would work with the Splinter Cell series, but unfortunately now we're never going to know because the game has been canceled. And as for the 2 unannounced projects, we're not sure what they were. We can only speculate what they could have been. But yeah, some disappointing news coming out in that investor call. And hopefully Ubisoft is able to recover from that rather quickly. And our last story, No More Heroes 3 is officially coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC October 11th. When this game came out, it was a Nintendo Switch exclusive, but now we have the official word of when it's coming to everything else. Again, October 11th, if you are a fan of the series and have been waiting for this game to come out for your console, you don't have to wait too much longer. All right, guys, that was the gaming news for this week. I'm Diggs Gaming, and I will see you guys next time.